I have been passive for too long. I've wasted my time and it's getting colder by the day. I decided I would have to go to the city now. The earlier I could get into Riverside, the better. I needed food, weapons, and maybe gas. If I could find some literature, that would also be helpful. I was incapacitated. I couldn't fight at full efficiency, but I had to go forth. There simply wasn't enough food back home for me to survive. I found a police officer. I could use his vest for extra insulation and a little bit of protection. I would take anything by now. A fog was rolling in. I knew what would happen if I would stay outside. Zombie ambushes would come for me. I decided to take shelter in a nearby house. My plan was simple. I would go into Riverside, loot the gas station, maybe even loot the police station if I could. At last, I had arrived at the entrance for Riverside. There was a bait shop and a burger store. This wasn't my final destination, but I at least got into the main part of the city. I looked everywhere for even a morsel of loot. Whenever I found any item I could use, I was thankful for it. Something as small as an orange soda could keep me fighting for another day. Looking around, there weren't too many zombies, but there were still quite a few. I was still wounded, and I had to make sure to pick my fights carefully. The problem with random zombies is that all it takes is one sprinter coming in from behind for it to be all over. Inside the burger store, there was only really ketchup. While it might not be ideal, it's still food. It even has enough calories to keep me at a stable weight. This is why you should always play with high volume. Project Zomboid is made considerably easier when you are aware of your surroundings. I had no time to lose. I had to keep going. The gas station was probably my best chance at finding some non-perishable food, and the police station would hopefully have some equipment, weapons and clothing. For the time being, most zombies were either shamblers or fast shamblers. This could all change in the blink of an eye if I was hit with a special event. At random times, some sirens will go off. Nobody knows where these sirens are or how they're active this far into the apocalypse, but they signal the darkness. An event that turns every zombie into a sprinter, and that makes everything plunge into complete darkness, making it almost impossible to see. If I was caught in the city during a darkness event, I would surely die. Thankfully for me, only my arm is wounded. My feet work just fine. I found a hunting rifle on a zombie. This would be good. If I could find a suppressor for it, I could take out value zombies from a distance. Eventually I had made it to my destination, the gas station. There weren't a lot of zombies around here, so I reckoned it would be an easy loot. I made my way indoors. There was a zombie at a window, but thankfully, my sneaking skill is high enough that zombies don't even know I'm there. Even though I am capable of taking on zombies, I would much rather not fight. I can't take any risks. Not in these conditions. There wasn't much food, but there was some. There was also water, which, while not nutritious, is always good to take. I would rather not have to drink from the river just yet. Inside the gas station there were also skill magazines. These weren't exactly what I was looking for, as I really just wanted a carpentry book, but I would take them. The more recipes I know, the better. I then found a map of Riverside, which I could actually use. I could now use my actual map just to see where everything was. The wind chill outside was actually tolerable. Not often do I get days like this that aren't extremely cold, but whenever I do, I'll take them. I had brought with me an AKM assault rifle and plenty of ammunition for it. I knew that I wasn't going to get out of here without a fight, so I started taking out some zombies. And then I heard it. What I had feared the most was happening. The darkness was descending and I was almost in the city. This meant that I had about 2 hours to get home before every zombie turned into a sprinter and I would be inevitably outpaced. I had to run through the darkness, through neighborhoods and through forests. But that's not all. Because of my mods, the fog that starts with the darkness is also leaving me susceptible to ambushes. At any moment, a group of 5 sprinters could show up around me, and I would most likely, or most certainly, be dead. But I kept running, no matter how many obstacles were in my way. I didn't have enough time to even check where I was on the map. I didn't know if any of the zombies I had just attracted with gunfire were following me. If they were, I definitely could not spare a moment to check my map, so I just kept running and hoped eventually I would get to my house. Although I passed by a couple of zombies, it appeared I was still on pace to get home. I didn't have a watch yet, so I couldn't even see how long had passed. I quickly checked my map. I was almost there, and eventually I even got within my own walls. I finally had a sense of safety, but not for long. A zombie ambush. Even when I think I'm safe, I'm not. I was already tired from all of the running and now had to fight. I couldn't take too long, otherwise another ambush could spawn on top of me. If I took even longer, they could become sprinters. And taking on 3 sprinters while tired is a death sentence. Soon enough, the last one of them fell, and I could finally go indoors as fast as possible. I was safe. I knew I was far away enough from the city that none of them could follow me, and if any of them did, at least I had a wall around me. I was sealed away from the cold and from the darkness and the fog. I felt a strange peace despite the horrific conditions I found myself in. Even though I hadn't found much food, I had enough for the time being. The darkness usually only lasts between 1 and 3 days. Even though I could go outside and there was always the chance that there's a group of sprinters waiting to kill me, I still felt security. Even though I am proud that I was able to escape, I know that I am not clear. Essentially, my mission isn't complete. I still need more food, and after a quick check in the med bay, I realized I truly need more medicine as well. For the time being, I decided to drop off some weapons. After all, I had quite a lot of them, and I had enough space to store them away. While the Zomboids completely outclass me in numbers, strength, and even speed sometimes, I have something they don't. My brain still functions like that of a human. Humanity's survival can be attributed to our ability to take in whatever we can from the surrounding environment and use it to our advantage, primarily by making tools. I make myself bottle suppressors. These function as suppressors, just not as good as the normal ones. I put one on a sniper rifle. Luckily, I also had some .308 Winchester rounds already on me, which is the ammo this sniper rifle uses, so for a while I should be sorted. Looking around outside, I saw nothing, which was good. I went back indoors. I really didn't want to be outside during the fog, as I didn't know if zombies could spawn on top of my house. If they did, it would be certainly death for me. I constantly checked the perimeter. I didn't know if zombies could get in behind my house, but it was better to be safe than sorry. I could hear them outside. Somehow they found me all the way out here. I didn't know how many it was, but it didn't sound like a lot. Still, I wasn't going outside to fight them. I decided it was a better idea to just hide away on the second floor and hope none of them heard me go up. I avoided using doors. I didn't know how good their hearing was, but I didn't want to risk them breaking in. I decided to fight back. Even though they had found my property, I had the advantage. My aim skill wasn't great, but I could still hit them consistently in the head. I made sure to look around everywhere. I had to make sure the perimeter was clear. I checked every side, every flank, making sure there were no zombies walking around or running. I didn't have much range with my weapon, but I had more. Some of them disappeared into the woods, but I would rather that than have them coming near me. I kept on looking. I didn't want any of them to slip through the cracks whatsoever. I only went back inside when I was absolutely sure there were no more outside. I started closing curtains. I realized that even though I was isolated, I wasn't alone. Thankfully, due to some interference between random zombies and the darkness, the zombies were only going to be sprinters if they were activated, which meant that as long as I went undetected, they would move at normal speed. Since I was essentially locked indoors for the time being, I thought it would be a good time to get some reading done. I have a lot of skill books and I'm going to need a lot of skills to survive this apocalypse. After reading for what I assume was the entire day, I decided to go to bed. I had no watch, so I had no idea what time it was, but I just assumed it was late since I was getting tired. The fog dissipated overnight. The few zombies that remained were no longer affected by the darkness. I had survived through the darkness. Even though it was only the first of many of such events, I knew that I was at least able to survive here in my fortress. But this was no reason to let my guard down. If I was going to survive, I was going to need to pay attention, always.